On the East African coast, where the Indian Ocean meets the African continent, there were city-states so wealthy and sophisticated that they rivaled the great cities of Europe and Asia. These were trading hubs, centers of culture, centers of power. And they were built, ruled, and controlled by women merchants and architects who shaped the entire region. The Swahili Coast, a place where African female power created some of the most sophisticated civilizations the world has ever seen. And almost nobody knows their names. I'm Kay, and this is Labari Studio, where we tell you about the African women whose architectural and economic power built civilizations. The Swahili Coast stretched from what is now Kenya down through Tanzania to Mozambique. For over 1,000 years, it was a center of global trade. And women controlled that trade. Women built the cities. Women shaped the culture. Let's talk about who they were. The Swahili city-states emerged around the 8th century CE. They grew as trading centers. Merchants from Africa, from the Arabian Peninsula, from India, from China, all met on the Swahili coast to trade. They traded spices, they traded cloth, they traded gold, they traded precious stones, and they traded enslaved people. A dark part of Swahili history that we must acknowledge. But the wealth from this trade built cities, great cities, cities that rivaled anything in Europe or Asia. In these cities, women were major merchants. Women owned ships. Women controlled trading companies. Women negotiated with merchants from across the Indian Ocean. Women accumulated wealth. Women invested in property. Women built fortunes. And with wealth came power. Political power, social power, architectural power. Some of the great Swahili cities had female rulers, or rulers whose power depended significantly on female merchants. In some cases, women held the title of queen. In others, their power was economic but equally complete. But perhaps the most visible legacy of Swahili female power is the architecture. Women built mosques. Elegant, intricate mosques with detailed stonework. Women built palaces, grand residences that showed wealth and power. Women built markets, sophisticated trading centers that facilitated commerce. Women commissioned artisans and architects. They envisioned these buildings. They funded them. They created the physical landscape of their cities. Some of the most famous Swahili architecture was built under the patronage of women. The Swahili cities developed a distinct culture, a blend of African, Arabic, Indian, and Asian influences. The people spoke Swahili, a language that blended Bantu with Arabic and other languages, reflecting the cosmopolitan nature of the coast. They practiced Islam. They engaged in sophisticated scholarship, and women participated fully in this culture. Women were poets. Women were scholars. Women were patrons of the arts. The greatest Swahili cities were Kilwa, Mombasa, Zanzibar, and others. Kilwa was the wealthiest. At its height in the 13th to 15th centuries, it was one of the richest cities in the world. It had a royal palace, it had mosques, it had markets, it had a sophisticated administrative system. Women merchants in Kilwa grew wealthy from the gold trade. Gold from the African interior was channeled through Kilwa to the world, and women controlled much of this gold trade. In some cities, women weren't just merchants, they were rulers. Historical records mention female sultans and queens who ruled Swahili cities. Their names survive in some cases, lost in others. These women made decisions about trade, about diplomacy, about war, about their cities' futures. They sent ships, they negotiated treaties, they built alliances. They were, in every way, the equals of male merchants and rulers. But in the late 15th century, something changed. Portuguese ships arrived on the Swahili coast. The Portuguese wanted to control the Indian Ocean trade. They wanted to dominate the gold and spice routes. They attacked Swahili cities. They disrupted trade. They established their own trading posts. This disrupted the Swahili merchant networks. It disrupted the power of Swahili merchants, both male and female. But the female merchants had built something that lasted. The cities remained, the architecture remained, the culture remained. Yet when European historians wrote about the Swahili Coast, they largely erased the women. They focused on the male sultans. They described the cities as merchant republics where men dominated. They acknowledged the city's sophistication, but attributed it primarily to men and Arab influence. The female merchants, the female patrons, the female architects, they were erased. Despite the erasure, the evidence of female power remains. The cities still stand. Kilwa, Mombasa, Zanzibar. The architecture still shows the sophistication and wealth. Historical records, when read carefully, mention female merchants and female rulers. Oral traditions in the region preserve memories of female merchants and female power. Archaeological evidence shows women's participation in commerce and patronage. What did Swahili female merchants represent? They represented women who controlled global trade, who traded across the Indian Ocean with merchants from China, India, Arabia, Africa. They represented women who accumulated wealth, who invested, who built businesses that lasted centuries. They represented women who shaped culture, who patronized scholars, who commissioned artists, who built the physical landscape of their cities. And they represented a model of female power that wasn't dependent on military force or political title, though some held those too. Their power came from commerce, from trade, from economic control. Why does the story of Swahili female merchants matter? Because it shows that women have been global traders for over 1,000 years. Because it shows that female economic power isn't new, it's ancient, it's African, it's proven. Because it shows that women built cities, that women shaped civilization through commerce and patronage, and because knowing this history changes what's possible. It changes what women believe about themselves and their potential. Thank you for watching. New episodes every week. Stories about African women whose power shaped empires and continents. Join us next week as we go deeper into the untold histories of Africa. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you turn on the notification bell for new episodes.